Hey, good morning. This video is going to be on the corn planter, rain, hay, whatever we're doing, and that's the end of that. But head on over to Ag Talk and the Raw if you want to hear about trolls. Me and my wife sit down, she's off camera, but still, sit down and talk about these idiots and what they are and why they are the way they are, in my opinion. So check that out when you're done with this one, or you can click away from this one and come back later. I don't know. Do what you got to do. Ag Talk and the Raw, though. It's a problem, but for the most part, if you have a 7,000 corn planter, I have all the confidence in the world that a 7,000 will do a damn fine job. It has for 45 years or so, and as long as you maintain them and update them to a reasonable update, I could go ahead and spend another $20,000 on this old frame in the electric meters and everything else with the computers and the sensors and all that other stuff. But that doesn't mean that that's going to drive the corn price. Corn price at $2.70 a bushel doesn't get you too damned excited to go and spend another $20,000 on a 45-year-old machine. It just doesn't do it. It doesn't do it for me, and it shouldn't do it for anybody else. And I actually feel a little sorry for some of the farmers who fell into that pitfall of corn's going to be $7, and I was hoping it would be $7, but this COVID-19 thing, or this Wuhan virus, has really screwed the pooch for just about everybody in this business. So yeah, I'm happy I paid $3,250 for the machine. I'm happy I put another, what I put into this thing, $8,000? I think another $8,000, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have about $12,000 into this machine. I'm sure it's closer to 12. In total, $12,000 with the meters and everything that I rebuilt and replaced. $12,000. Yeah, $12,000 is going to put 200 acres of corn in. It would probably put in 2,000 acres of corn with this machine, with this machine in the condition that it's in. And I have all the confidence in the world that I could do it. I just am not going to because I don't need to. Corn isn't worth that much right now. So anybody who's running a John Deere 7000 and you see your neighbors running the fancy new air seeders that drop a seed every 5 1/4 inches, and it's a perfect picket fence stand, and the row units shut off at the beginning and at the end of the headlands perfectly. Just remember what they have into that machine. And yes, there is a savings that comes along with it. And I really didn't talk about the seed that's at the back of the shop, but I'm telling you right now, I saved $9,600 by buying this seed over the other brand that I was going to purchase. It's amazing to me. This is fully stacked. There is not one more genetic anything that can go into this. It is complete. It is absolute. Every single trait that you can get in seed corn is in these bags. And that's $12,000 sitting there. $12,000 worth of seed corn to plant 200 acres. That's just the seed corn. I know there's a lot of other farmers out there that are probably like, what? Really? Wow, okay. That's not too bad. Not bad at all. And if I'd have bought the competitive brand, which actually didn't have all the bells and whistles in it, it still would have been $9,600 more for that. I would have had over 20 grand in seed for 200 acres. That's over $100 an acre in seed, just seed alone. And that's not including the herbicide that I've got out in the shop. Out in the chemical shed, there's enough herbicide to do 200 acres out there. And God, what do I got in that? Between the 2,4-D and the corn herbicide, I got another 11,000. No, 7,500 in chemicals. So 12 and 7, 75, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19. By the time I'm done, yeah, I'll have $20,000. It's going to cost me, $20,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what? $20,000 per acre, 200 acres, 20,000. That's what? I can't. My brain isn't functioning. $100 an acre. It's going to cost me $100 an acre to do this without the equipment cost and without the fuel, time, and the other equipment. It's going to cost me at least, at bare minimum, $100 per acre. And that's with no recovery. And that's not fertilizer. So fertilizer on top of that, 300 pounds of, what is it, 5, 22, 22, 10. That's what I'm going to put on, 5, 22, 22, 10 over there. Here, I've already got my potash on. The only thing I need to put on is nitrogen, and I'm going to put 200 units of nitrogen on, possibly 220 units. I'm not 100% sure, but 200 will do it. And I've got the compost, so I'll be receiving nitrogen and everything from that, as well as the other nutrients that I need. So it's a few bucks. I mean, we're looking at right now $20,000 in seed and herbicide, fuel, and everything else. You're looking at a good amount of money. So just think about this whole entire thing as to how much money it costs to produce corn. Oh, and that doesn't include the rent. The rent on the farm. You didn't shut it off. See? Aunt Beth would have had a fit. Yep. Anyways, that's just some of the costs. I'll probably write it down and go over the entire cost on here for this 200 acres, just for the shits and giggles of it. What did I pay for that spreader? 18?
Yeah.
No, 800. We're gonna do this in the wind. Just a little bit of wind, but a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, I had Timothy come out and seed in some Kentucky 31 and some annual ryegrass, and I'm trying to get a look at it here. This is the spent compost. Right here, see it? Black. All that black is spent. What I'm looking for is deer shit, rabbit shit. There's somebody after me. Why the hell I'm not seeing anything? Not impressing me too. Oh, there's some. There it is. It has been so incredibly cold, and I'm not even happy about putting my knee down on this. But right here, there's some. And here. Oh yeah, it's coming. It's coming. There it is. There it is. So it looks like it's coming up, which is a good thing, because I got several $1,000s in this inner seed, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and take a look. There's another farm I got to deal with. We have had so much freaking rain. I'm telling you, it's inches. Oh God! Little passion pit going on here. Alright, so I have a problem with Japanese beetle larvae in this field, and the upper half of this field has just been an absolute nightmare. They've come in and they've just cut everything off and killed it. Plus I got some weeds that don't seem to be dying too good. Timothy did put grass seed in here, and I'm seeing it coming up. There it is. It is coming up. There's annual rye, and there's Kentucky 31, as you can see right there. So I'm going to call this semi-successful. There, yeah, sure. I'm going to call it successful. Look at that. The grass is coming up. Oh boy. I just want to get a few different angles on it. We put it in, it was warm, and it has gotten just so unbearably cold the last couple of weeks. Right after I put it in, wet and cold, but it is here. It is here. I'm going to see if I can get this under control with a little 2,4-D. That stuff sucks. So the Japanese beetle larvae, once they kill the grass off, they basically hatch out. They don't come back. They do not come back once they're dead. But I am not seeing the grass that I want to see coming up here as thick as it should be. And right there. So it is here. It is growing. It is not as... Yeah, it is. It's fine. I'm not able to row it, and I should be able to row it. And, you know, we put it in early enough that it was nice and warm. Look at it there. It's there. It was nice and warm, but, of course, it's been in the 40s, 30s, and 40s. The other day we had a 60-degree day, and I was thrilled. I was like, hey, finally, spring has sprung. It's the 27th of April, and I'm in a Carhartt. And I've been wearing sweatshirts all winter, But now I'm in a Carhartt. It's crazy. It's cold. It's effing cold. What a weird year so far. But anyway, what we got. Going through our timing procedure. This will need to get tightened up. We got our resident squirrel. Resident squirrel. Come on, squirrel. Look, he's even got that flywheel's polished, man. Okay, so that's coming up. Now, I have to get in there. You, move. Give me the flashlight.
I would not put that there.
It's gonna go up. That's all the way back. The needles are retracted. The holdbacks are retracted. That sucker is. It hasn't gone where it's supposed to go just yet. I would say that is a gold star move right there. As they're coming back, the plunger's stripping it forward. We got it. I'm pretty happy with. We got it. I'm pretty happy. Now the holdbacks are back in their position there. Boom! I don't know what that was, but
What?
compression. Now I think it's timed perfect. Timed perfect. All right. I guess the next step would be to run it on a tractor. Got all that in new, courtesy of Cody, right? All brand new.
Paint it green.
You still got to do some grinder magic to it, right?
Yeah. Some grinder magic.
Grinder magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now this should come around here and disengage the stuffer.
Run, squirrel, run.
Well, this is where it belongs, right? Yeah, that's where it belongs.
Yeah.
It did its thing. Bam. There it is. That's it. Okay, you're done. Your job is done here. Time to go home.
Legs are dead. Now, I'm not sure if you put on weight or took off weight.
Okay, business as usual at the mushroom barn. Just for those of you that don't realize that I am working and hauling, scale, blah, blah, blah. There you go. It'll be a 2-load day today. I took 1 load this morning. Had airbag problems. Blew one up last night. I don't know if I said this or not, but it exploded at night. And last night I went looking for it, couldn't find it, but this morning I did. So I had to change my airbag this morning in the dark. And yeah, so I had to change it in the dark, which no big deal. It just took me an hour and a half to turn around, come back, figure out whether I had it or not, which I did, and then go from there. I think I've scored. I wanted to show you the ground here. We're starting to, it was actually starting to get dry enough that I could get on it, and now we've got, you know, rain clouds again and other things. This is where the pile was, by the way. Timothy just worked it up with the disc. He didn't chisel it, he just worked it up with the disc. But yeah, you're probably gonna get wind. Oh yeah. So anyway, there's all kinds of stuff out here. This is actually starting to feel about like I could almost be ready to go. I'm gonna spray that as soon as I can with Roundup. This ground is getting there. It's getting there. I want to spray that with Roundup. Let it set for a few days, and then come back in with my fertilizer and my nitrogen. I'll probably put the nitrogen on when I put the I'll probably put the nitrogen on when I spray it. I don't know. I might just spray it with Roundup and get it killed, and then come back in a few days, put the nitrogen on, and then work it down and be okay. And then come back again with the, well, I could put the nitrogen on. I got to put a lot of nitrogen on. I need 220 units of nitrogen. And in order to do that, I'm going to have to put like 60 gallons of nitrogen to the acre. So I'll probably go ahead and put the nitrogen on with the Roundup, let it set for a while, and then maybe just plant it the way it is instead of working it in. I don't know. I might just work it in. Who knows? This farm is a little bit different than the other farm. The other farm I'll be putting dry down. 670 pounds of basically 28-13-13 with sulfur. That's basically what I'll be putting down. That's what that ground needs. 28-13-13 with sulfur. And it's actually like 25, 25-13-13 and 2 sulfur, but 670 pounds to the acre. This ground only needed potash, and I put the potash on already. This whole farm here is all got the potash on. I just need nitrogen because I put all the compost on there. I gotta have nitrogen. Load 2, same day, right? Yeah. Same day, load 2. It's us. We're here. Business as usual, right?
Yeah.
Right.
No
So
hanky-panky here.
I think the sheets are a little ruffled. Were you back there? What were you doing back there?
Excuse me!
What was an animal in the sack?
I bet you that's a different woman you did there. I can sniff it with a different woman.
I bet you $5 you go back there and sniff that. No, we weren't back there today. I think I got a Mexican that comes in and sleeps in there.
Ew.
Yeah, I'll bet. Yeah, somebody's sleeping on our bed. Yeah, what was that? The Goldilocks? Someone's been sleeping in my bed too. Right? Right? Yeah, that's what we got here.
Oh, now you did it.
Saved by the string. Anyway, we're out of here. I need some of that bamboo. You want some?
Still some.
Want me to get one? All right, I'll get one. I need one. We're going to be thieves. All right, so I'm going to read a few of these quickly. Dougie Doo, I like watching your channel because you don't have all the free promotional equipment. It gives more realistic story of what it's like to farm for the average person who doesn't get the free stuff. Well, I'm going to talk about that just a very short little bit. Okay, so the big companies have realized that nobody really watches their promotional stuff. They can put, John Deere can put their YouTube channel up, Case puts their YouTube channel up, and they just don't get the views that a YouTube personality gets, like Zach, like Welker, like any of the others, Farmhand Mike. And they're using these guys. They're using them. They give them a piece of equipment. What does it cost them to give them a piece of equipment for a month or so? Really not a lot. They reduce the price of that piece of equipment after they're done using it for the season. And either the YouTuber buys it, which very rarely happens, or they sell it to somebody else as a used piece of equipment that only has a few hours on it, and they get more than enough. The advertising, free advertising from that YouTuber, really, or that personality or that influencer, is worth way more than that machine is worth, because they will get people to look on YouTube or go to Google and YouTube video pops up and Zach Johnson's there saying, hey, look at this, you know, and this is what I'm doing. And they can sell a lot more. It's cheaper and it reaches a wider audience by giving it to the influencers. And that's why these big companies do it. Pat Roach and about a dozen or two of other people said, put oil on that tap and then turn it back a quarter away. Yes, I understand the oil bit, and I do use oil where I want to use oil. I didn't want to use oil in this area because I will be painting those things, and I didn't really want to to clean the surface off so that paint would stick. And if you put oil there, paint's not going to stick. So that's why I didn't use oil, and I did that on the other pieces of equipment as well. If it's something that I'm not going to paint, sure, I use oil, and it is easier and cheaper probably because you don't break the taps. I just like the old style taps better because they were made more durable. Norman, a little bit off subject, Wes, but whatever happened with the tractor tread condom inquiry? Why, are you looking for some? Holy shit, I remember that. That was funny. Holy grinder noise in the background. I hope that baler's getting finished. It is finished. It just needs the paint that I was speaking about just moments earlier. Ben Schmidt says, I should have bought a platter that worked instead of this bull. Well, me and William think that you might have meant planter. $3,250 for a toolbar that I got $8,000 into. 8, 9, 10. I think I have a total of $12,000 into that thing. It was $9,000 and then $3,250. It was about $12,000 into that corn planter. It's like new. It will plant like new. And if you want to buy me a new planter that works, yeah, you can do that for me. I would let you. Avery Sr., please, for the love of God, tell the viewers that you understand that there are fields without rocks. I do understand that, and that's perfectly fine. This little monkey wants a field without rocks. He'd like to go 20 mile an hour, wouldn't you? Maybe by the time he's old enough, we'll buy a 10 mile an hour planter, and everybody will be running 20 mile an hour planter with laser rock destroyers. Right, Will? That's right. I was wondering who was going to get the see you next Tuesday bit. Brian Schrouder, you are the winner. Yeah, see you next Tuesday. Last one I'm going to do. Michael Van Gotham. Hey, Wesley, what do you think of the new high-density baler from New Holland? Well, William is telling you all about it. Right? What are you thinking? What do you think of the new high-density baler, Will? Can't understand it? Me neither. That's not Tagalog, that's Willog.